Alright, so for this section of 5E, easiest way to learn this section is watch this 18-minute video. I know it's long, but it really describes it in a detailed way how to use the multiples of pi over 6, pi over 4, and pi over 3. And some of you might notice that pi over 6 and pi over 3 kind of overlap sometimes as well. So basically, you can go through and write these key green boxes, but more importantly, what I would like you to do to learn is, I'm going to print this out and give it to you, so hopefully you have it by now. I'm going to give this to you. I want you to write down the notes as you kind of watch the videos, and then draw the angles and stuff. So hopefully you'll have one for the pi over 4s, pi over 3s, and then pi over 6. And then pi over 6. So you should have all of those all filled out. I do have the answers here if you want to copy it down, but only copy it down like really as you watch the video, please. I really want it to be watched. Put it on a little bit faster, 1.25 speed if you know they were reading slow, etc. But basically, all you need to do is use this. This is the full revolution of, so basically ties in everything. Like this is has got everything: pi over 3, pi over 4, pi over 6s, and all the multiples. So as you can see, it's got the degrees as well as the radians. So all you need to do is just remember that it's always cos theta sine theta. So your x coordinate is your cos, your y coordinate is your sine. So do remember that. We're going to try this question, and I'll show you how to utilize that unit circle now that it has all the variables and values. So you wouldn't even need your calculators, and something like this would be important to kind of understand how to use. So we need to find sine alpha, where alpha is this value over here. So I'm going to replace it. I'm going to write it in 3 pi over 4. So I need to find sine 3 pi over 4. I also need to find cos 3 pi over 4. And eventually I need to be able to find tan 3 pi over 4. Okay, so let's start with the sine. So basically all I have to do is find 3 pi over 4 and then read my sine coordinates. So 3 pi over 4, I can already spot that it's this angle. So basically it's 135 degrees. I just need to read my sine and cosine off here. So as I said, cosine is the x coordinate, sine is the y coordinate. So my first answer, sine 3 pi over 4, will be the y coordinate. So it would be this one. So I might just copy it down and then we can have a look at it. So they are both, I'm going to write it as negative square root 2 over 2 and then the positive square root 2 over 2. Okay, so sine theta is my y value, so it'll be square root 2 over 2. My negative would be the cos, the x coordinate, and that's pretty much it. And to find tan, pretty simple. All I have to do is do sine divided by cos. That's the formula. If you really want me to write the whole thing, I can do that for you as well. This is the exact. So I'd write square root 2 over 2 divided by negative square root 2 over 2. If you use your calculator, or hopefully you can use your brain to figure this out, it's just literally the same thing divided by each other, just differ by a negative 1 factor. So your answer for tan 3 pi over 4 should just be negative 1. That's all it is. Like, it should be pretty straightforward. Alright, let's find this one. So I need to find sine 4 pi over 3. I need to find cos 4 pi over 3. And tan 4 pi over 3. Okay, so I'm going to locate my 4 pi over 3 angle. So I'm going to delete that little bit because I don't need it anymore. 4 pi over 3, I found it over here. So it's that angle. It's an obtuse angle, 240 degrees approximately. This is what I'm going to copy down so we can work with it. So my coordinate is negative a half and a negative 3. Square root 3 over 2. So again, as I said, this is my cos, this is my sine. So my sine ends up being negative 3 over 2. This answer becomes negative a half. So my tan becomes sine 4 pi over 3 divided by cos 4 pi over 3. So it ends up becoming negative square root 3 over 2 divided by negative 1 over 2. So if I do some rearranging, I get 2 square root 3. So the 2's and the minuses cancel out. So I get square root 3 as my tan answer. Alright, so you should be able to utilize that unit circle to figure out these questions, and hopefully you can do it without using a calculator. That's what I want you to practice. Try to do it without using the calculator. Alright, so again, without using calculator, we want to show that 8 sine pi over 3 cos 5 pi over 6 equals minus 6. So first things first, I'm going to figure out what sine pi over 3 is, so I can substitute it in there. And then I'm going to find what cos 5 pi over 6 is. Okay, so let's do sine pi over 3 first. Let's go back to my unit circle. So pi over 3, I need to find that angle. I found it already. It should be pretty easy to spot. It's this angle over here. So my, I think it was sine, I think. So sine, I'm going to read the y coordinate. So it's going to be this one, square root 3 over 2. If not, I'll just come back and change it. Yep, it was sine, so square root 3 over 2. Alright, now I've got to find cos 5 pi over 6. 5 pi over 6, whereabouts is that? Over here. There we go. And it was the cos, wasn't it? So my x value, so negative square root 3 over 2. That's all it is. You just read it off. Negative square root 3 over 2, I think it was. So now all I have to do is substitute it back in. So I'm going to rewrite this over here. So I've got 8. Instead of writing sine pi over 3, I'm going to replace this answer. So I've got times square root 3 over 2. And then I've got my cos answer. So this one, which is that one. So I've got negative square root 3 over 2. Alright, so if I figure this out, I get 8 times, so using it without using a calculator. So hopefully I know how to times these together. Well, it's 2 square roots that are the same, so it becomes square root 3, or I'll have a minus, and then squared, so it basically gets rid of the 3. And then I have 2 times 2 on the bottom, so I get a 4. So I get minus 24 divided by 4, which is minus 6. Now, this definitely confirms my answer. I've showed it without using a calculator, using my unit circle. So that should be pretty straightforward. So can you make sure you do the 5 last column without probably using the calculator, I'm assuming, but just follow the prompts, follow the questions. Alright, find all angles 0 to 2 pi with a cosine of a half. So cosine theta gets a half. So as we can kind of just have a think about, South Australian Tennis Club, or All Silly Turtles Crawl, whereabouts is my cosine a positive number? Well, there's going to be over here and over here. So there's going to be 2 answers, because we're only looking at 0 to 2 pi, which is 0, pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, and then 2 pi. So it's 1 revolution we're only looking at. So we're only going to have 2 answers. So when is cos theta cos theta 1 over 2? Well, let's go back to my unit circle. I shouldn't need a calculator for this even either. So have a look. Cos theta, I need to find over here where my cos x value is a half. So this one's not a half, so not this one, not this one. I hopefully see that that one is a half. So my angle is pi over 3. Okay, so I'm going to show you what happens now. You could read off the second answer of the unit circle, but I'm going to show you also how else to do it. So basically we found that cos pi over, I forgot, was it 3? Whoopsies, what was it? Pi over 3. Pi over 3 gives me a half, so we know that that angle is pi over 3. Now have a think about it. If I want to find that angle, this angle over here, I could either probably just easiest way to do it is, a whole revolution, take that angle, okay? The whole revolution is 2 pi, take that angle as pi over 3, so if I use my brain, 3, if I want to make that denominator as 3, I just times this by 3, so I'm showing you how to do it manually, just in case you've got to do it manually in your work. Oh, so 6 pi take pi over 3. I've just combined the fraction, so I get 5 pi over 3. So that's my other answer. So my theta is pi over 3. and 5 pi over 3. And I'll also show you this on the unit circle as well. So I just needed to find my other value that has an x coordinate over half, which is 5 pi over 3. So that's how I find my answer, which confirms the answer for example 15. So now you should be able to do all of these. Please make sure you do it. Please make sure you also do the harder questions that I've skipped if you have extra time as well, right? These are very important.